So I think first thing I would say is that I think it's absolutely fine for you to have Muslim role models and non-Muslim role models as well, right? I actually think that there is so much that we can learn from the non-Muslims in a lot of different areas. And even scholars will tell you that it's permissible for us to go and study and learn things that we can't learn from Muslims, for example. Right? So I think having non-Muslim role models is absolutely fine. Of course, the part that we hate about them, not them as people, but like if someone commits shirk or someone commits something that's haram and all that kind of stuff, like we don't hate the person, we hate the sin, right? And of course, if someone's doing something like that's between them and Allah and all of that. But fundamentally, if there's some benefit that we can get, for example, we see Tony Robbins can transform relationships. Something happened on the weekend where someone very close to me called me, a very dear friend of mine, and he told me that he's getting divorced. And I was so sad when I heard this. Like, this isn't a person, I know the family very well. I didn't expect them to get divorced. They've been married for a long time, but they are. Now, for me, I'm thinking, you know what, there's certain techniques I know that Tony Robbins does in terms of relationships and these kind of things that could transform a situation where divorce is imminent to, Alhumdulillah, a place where the divorce is not happening. Right? So for me, I'm like, Muslims must learn this stuff, as long as obviously it's halal and doesn't contradict Islam. We must learn this stuff so that we can benefit our ummah and avoid these kind of situations, So I think definitely I would advise that we take the best from wherever we can. Part of me creating this program is so that so many people don't have to go to non-Muslims and we can learn a better way of doing it. But in terms of learning from them, like general kind of stuff that they're doing and role models in terms of speaking and this and that, I don't think there's any issue. And this is my personal opinion rather than it being a scholarly kind of opinion in that sense. What happens with a lot of people is that, they love Allah, they're practicing Islam and they're learning about Islam. And then they go and spend time on something which is not Islam, right? So imagine I go and read The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz, right? So I go and read that book. While I'm reading it, I might start to feel a bit guilty that, man, like I could be reading Quran this time and I'm actually like listening to this book or reading this book, right? And so this kind of conflict happens. And this is why I say to people that really what I would advise is get very clear on your purpose, get clear on your pathway to paradise and all this stuff. And this stuff you'll probably see in the program as you go through it. Once you get to know that stuff, then everything you do, it kind of fits into that purpose. So for example, there's a program that I went on, which is a non-Muslim program. I find it very challenging to do the non-Muslim programs just because of the environment and all that kind of stuff. But I felt like what they had in terms of communication was so important for us as Muslims to learn. So the reason why I did that is because I feel like this helps me to fulfill my mission, and it helps all the other people avoid going to that kind of situation, right? And going to that kind of experience, because it's filled with kufr and shirk and all these kind of issues as well. And so for me, it becomes like my mission is to help people with the communication and confidence and all this stuff. So I went and I did that communication course, right? But fundamentally, my purpose ultimately is to move people closer to Allah by developing them, by growing them, all this kind of stuff. So if I have to learn techniques and things on the way, then it's fine. But if my purpose is messed up, like, I just want to be rich and I just want to do this and I'm trying to like read all the stuff and do all this stuff for this and this and this, then I think it's problematic. So, just like, we know intentions are the basis of it. Your actions are judged by the intentions. So really what I would say is like get clear on like what you want to do, what your mission is, and then hone in the things that you're learning into there. And I would basically say that in order for you to get a holistic understanding, it's good for you to go to non-Muslim sources. So for example, let's say we're looking at something like influence. I would look at the Muslim source of influence and I would look at the non-Muslim sources of influence, and I would understand the whole thing properly so that I can then go and implement it. And like I said, if you are spending time on your mission, so imagine like my mission is to bring people closer to Allah, and I'm reading The Magic of Thinking Big with that intention, then that's something I could get reward for, inshallah, because it's something I'm doing for the greater mission of bringing people closer to Allah.